Hi, in this video, I'd love to help you understand the differences between Spring and Spring Boot. Hope clearing the confusion between these two concepts, Spring and Spring Boot. I am Nam Haming from CodeJava.net. Please note that when I use the term Spring, I mean the Spring platform as a whole, not the core Spring framework. So, Spring is an ecosystem of projects that make programming Java quicker, easier, and safer for everybody. And Spring is focused on speed, simplicity, and productivity that made Spring the world's most popular Java framework. And Spring Boot is the way that helps developers get started with a Spring framework with minimum effort. And Spring Boot makes it easy to create standalone and production-grade Spring-based applications. Here I name a few projects under Spring Platform: Spring Boot, Spring Framework Core, Spring Data, Spring Cloud, Spring Security, Spring Integration, Spring Batch, Spring Webflow, Spring Web Services, and many more projects. So that means Spring Boot is just a project of the Spring Platform, and Spring Boot is not a replacement of Spring Framework. And developers use Spring Boot to save time and increase productivity. Now, let's understand the differences between developing Spring-based applications without Spring Boot and with Spring Boot. So, without Spring Boot, we need to use lots of XML configs and or Java-based configurations, whereas with Spring Boot, no XML configuration required. And without Spring Boot, managing versions of dependencies is a nightmare for developers. Whereas with Spring Boot, we can use starter dependencies that really simplify dependency management. And without Spring Boot, apps must run on external server deployed as Word file. Whereas with Spring Boot, we can create standalone applications with embedded server as executable jar file. And without Spring Boot, lots of time spent on configuration and writing boilerplate code. Whereas with Spring Boot, it automatically configures Spring and third-party libraries with sensible defaults. So the time for setting up a project without Spring Boot is high, and the time for setting up a project with Spring Boot is super quick. So to sum up, Spring is a huge framework that consists of many projects, and Spring Boot is just a Spring project. And Spring Boot provides a set of libraries that greatly simplifies the development of Spring-based applications. And you can create a Spring-based application without or with Spring Boot. However, using Spring Boot is easier and more productive. So Spring Boot is the standard way for developing Spring-based applications. So that you have understood the key differences between Spring and Spring Boot. Please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share this video. Thanks for watching.